It's to Fine Gael TD and former Minister Hugh Coveney, who died in Crosshaven Cliff tragedy. One of four charged with points past murders found hanged in May's cell. Industrial boost for the West. 240 new jobs announced for Galway and Castlebar. Good evening. There have been many tributes to Fine Gael TD Hugh Coveney, whose body was found earlier today in the sea at the base of cliffs near Crosshaven in County Cork. President McAleese described him as an exemplary legislator. Former Taoiseach Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald said his sense of public service was matched by personal qualities of sincerity, warmth and good humour. Mr. Coveney failed to return home yesterday after going for a walk with his 3 dogs.
By first light, an exhaustive air and sea search had swung into operation on the shoreline and waters between Roberts Cove and its nearby headland south of Cork Harbour. The alarm was raised last night when Mr. Coveney failed to return to his home at nearby Minane Bridge, from where he had set out with his 3 dogs for a walk on land overlooking Roberts Cove at 11:30 yesterday morning. Within an hour of receiving the call, a team of volunteers from the Irish Marine Emergency Service found Mr. Coveney's car parked at the cove. The operation then widened onto cliffs and foreshore at Roberts Head. There, rescuers found one of Mr. Coveney's dogs around 50 feet down a rocky descent. The naval vessel, the L.E. Emer, with 3 support vessels, the lifeboat service and several local boats trawled the waters between the cove and the headland, while locals and friends of Mr. Coveney assisted rescue crews and Gardaí combing the shoreline. Then, just before midday, naval divers from Hulboland, searching waters within yards of where Mr. Coveney's dog was discovered, found his body.
Mr. Coveney's dog had been found in a slightly agitated state. So we used this datum for our search this morning. We used what's called a progressive snagline search, and we found the body in approximately 12 metres of water, 35 yards offshore, just off the rocks itself.
There is an air of complete shock hanging over Cork at news of Mr. Coveney's death. Here in Roberts Cove, he was a regular figure, known to love walking the fields straddling the headland, which he bought several years ago. He'd arranged with a friend to go walking on the land today.
Well, I would think the people...
Born in July 1935 in Cork, Hugh Coveney was educated by the Christian Brothers in the city and later at Clongo's Wood College in County Kildare. He ran a highly successful quantity surveying business for many years back in Cork. A keen sportsman, he played rugby for Cork Constitution and captained the Irish Admiral's Cup sailing team in 1979. In the final race of that series, he was rescued from his yacht by helicopter after hitting storm-force winds heading towards the Fastnet. 18 yachtsmen lost their lives in what was regarded as one of the worst yachting tragedies in decades. He won a Dáil seat in the Cork South Central constituency in 1981 and served as Lord Mayor of Cork from 1982 to 83. He lost his seat in 1987, winning it again in the 1994 by-election. The high point of his political career was his appointment as Minister for Defence and the Marine in the same year.
I think the one he enjoyed most himself was being Minister for the Marine. He loved being responsible for the fishermen, and they loved him. It's a great tragedy that broke up, but he loved that period of his life when he was Minister for the Marine. Anything to do with boats, of course, the sea was a great enthusiast for him.
His resignation less than 6 months later in the controversy over a phone call that he made on behalf of his family business to the chairman of Bord Gáis was widely regretted in the marine industry.
Do you think you'll stay in politics after what has happened?
Well, I mean, I was relatively reluctant, but once I decided to stand, I did so with enthusiasm, as you know. And by nature, I'm positive and forward-looking about things, and I'm not hankering about the past. And I intend to make a contribution in the time that's left to me in public life.
He was then appointed Minister of State in the Department of Finance and Office of Public Works.
As Minister of State in the Department of Finance, he dealt with public spending in a tactful way, which helped to keep the government as a united government for 2.5 years. If he hadn't been as good working with Rory Quinn in that regard, we wouldn't have been as good as a government as we were.
Mr. Coveney survived by his wife Pauline and 7 children, 5 of whom set off last October from Cork Harbour on a round-the-world yachting trip to raise £1 million for the Chernobyl Children's Project.